So thank you so much for inviting this meeting, and I'm very happy to be here with all of you and very eminent person in the Congress party, our very respectable ex minister of Rajasthan government, and also he was two-time assembly legislative assembly member of Rajasthan government, and he is also one-time MP in that from the state of Rajasthan. And when I look at the issue, and when Sudhanshu invited me, this is the issue that we are organizing a talk. I was curious about the entire incident and all. So regarding this, I went to look at what is the whole issue and all. So I found two important articles in English, because Hindi is something that very difficult for me to apologize to all of you. So the first article I found is in the Wire. So very good article. They have actually narrated about the whole incident on the issue of one of the famous poem that was actually was recited by our Honorable Minister Saab, and that became a huge controversial issue in the state of Rajasthan. So originally very famous, the poet of the Om Prakash Valmiki ji's poem was actually recited in the assembly, and which had two dimensions of the controversy that I looked at after going through the Wire article, and there is another article. So where I see, and the people, they could not understand the context of the poem that Sar has taken in the assembly. So he was actually talking about the long term kind of poverty and the marginalized people facing the huge sufferings despite of their huge contribution to the social production of economic development of state of Rajasthan, but still they are far behind of the development. So that they could not understand what is the context of that was actually taken up. And actually this poem is titled with the Thakur ka Kuan. So this is all actually very well understood by Minister Saab, and then he very well connected with that entire context of the Rajasthan, the state of the people who are belongs to the marginal sections, SC, ST, OBCs, and he also spoke about the how the 80% wealth is in the hands of the few people, and the 17% wealth in the hands of the larger community who are actually suffering a lot. So when I wanted to contextualize this, and there were another side of this actually very important aspect is whole the Dalit community, people from the civil right activists and the various people also supported Sir, saying that such a famous poet, the poem was actually removed from the records of the assembly. So what kind of respect that is giving that is actually is being given to the such a famous poet of that state and belong to a kind of marginal section is another thing. And if you look at these two things, are that one side is Sir has looked at the larger people's their livelihood and their lives and their future and all that. Second thing is importance of this literature in the context of the present ruling government and what is that relevance. So I would like to contextualize this with the national importance, because when we look at this the entire controversy, because basically it is between the two important national parties that the ruling government actually wanted to suppress the voices of the opposition parties. So if you look at the entire context, from the beginning of the Congress party, they were very much committed to the cause of the low caste communities, backward caste communities, all that. Chandrika Ram, whose short short book on a plan for Harijans on the backward classes in 1951, where he precisely has summarized the economic justice of Gandhiji's opinion on. Gandhiji said Economic equality is the master key to our non-violent independence. Working for economic justice means abolishing the eternal conflict between capital and labor, and also leveling down of the few rich in whose hands the wealth of nation is concentrated. Let us see what method can be adopted to fulfill this dream of Gandhiji. Gandhiji always was thought of masses, not about the rich. His whole fight is the down social bottom social layer of the entire the Indian society. He never thought of that rich people should become very rich. No, he was always thought of the poor people. He is always concerned about the Indian poor who are all suffering under the British government. So there are a series of letters when Jawaharlal Nehru sir was in Dehradun jail. He wrote to Gandhiji in one of the letter which is relevant to the context is that no sacrifice is too great for the suppressed and the downtrodden classes. Freedom must be judged by the freedom won for the lowest. Even Nehru was very much concerned about the poor people of this country, not the elite people of this country. And the Congress party was welcoming Ambedkar and made party to the legislative assembly, and they were drafting when they were drafting. He was made a drafting committee chairperson. So they all supporting him, and they were very much welcoming Ambedkar to draft safeguards for the SC/STs. And when we look at the important articles of the constitution, they were very much giving safeguards to the lower ranks of the society and the social bottom. And there is one the report which submitted to the Nehru in the parliament in 1956. Sri Babu Jagjivan sir has written a small piece and submitted to the Nehru Sahab, and he want a report that what is the progress after the first 5-year plan. So he said that social gains of planning means what was actually was progress we have achieved for the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. So in that report, which is a very long report he has given to Nehru, in that they were mostly concentrating on the housing and the water facilities, because when we look at the Ambedkar's fight for the water access to the water, because where untouchables were not allowed to take the water from the upper caste wells. So in that context he said that where they have the wells, they should have their independent wells. They should not go to any kind of means, should not depend on the other people, and they should not face any discrimination kind of thing. For that they spent initially for the first 5-year plan 20 crore rupees for the housing. And because as a downtrodden person, I experienced till 1990s, our houses are only up to 3 feet. We have to bend down and go into the hut. Such kind of houses. And Pakka houses was planned by Nehru and Jagjivan Rao, where all the planning commission members said that we should have a very good houses for the low caste people, Pakka housing, and it should be. And the education and the employment is a common minimum program for lower caste people from the beginning of the Congress party. So this is what that period. So when we come to Indira Gandhi, Madam Indira Gandhi time, so where she was very open to the development of the low caste people, because where she has gone for the land reforms, and she distributed land to the low caste people. And one of the incident that I wanted to connect it to the present context of the government is that where in July 1977 she went to the village of the Belchi. And one journalist has covered this whole journey of Madam Indira Gandhi journey from the Delhi to the Belchi region, where the lower caste people were murdered by the upper caste landowners. And Madam Indira Gandhi, at the time the weather was very bad and the people said that you can't travel, and she took a train from Delhi to the station of that state, and from there she took a jeep. And she was able to travel some part of that, and after that there was a huge mud. She cannot even travel by jeep, and after that she shifted to a tractor, and then the tractor was also stuck before reaching the Belchi. And one person told the elephant can be used to reach, and by the elephant she reached, and she said that no lunch, let us walk together to reach the village. And after reaching the village, the whole village felt relief that after a storm cyclone, that they feel secure that our Prime Minister has come to meet us, all that. So such a assurance. So unfortunately, there are brutal incidents are happening, and sorry to say this, our Prime Minister is not visiting those kind of villages. Is very very sad part of this thing. And even when Hathras incident was happened, when Rahul Gandhi wanted to go there, and there were a lot of hurdles they created, the UP government. But despite he reached the village and he met the victims, all that. Meeting a leader, meeting a victims is very much essential. But I don't know this insensitiveness of the ruling party, that they are nowhere will not go to any victims. They only go to some celebrations and all. So even Indira Gandhi, Madam Indira Gandhi ji, very much always was concerned about, let us plan any kind of the development is for the poor people. Three major obstacles to the development is that that let us end this feudal order, and also the kind of the old model of nationalism should go away, and abolition of the caste system. And she also concentration of economic power in the few hands must be prevented at all costs, especially it arises out of unequal opportunities or unequal social and political economic circumstances. She always said that poor should have access to the resources, and it should not be concentrated in the hands of the upper caste. And even Rajiv Gandhi time, he brought that Prevention of Atrocities Act. And when he was Rajiv Gandhi Saab was the Prime Minister, and Manmohan Singh was the Vice Chairman of the Planning Commission. He brought first time that 7th 5-year plan, full employment, and it should end the unemployment problem at the lower level. And if you comes to when Manmohan Singh Saab become Prime Minister of this country, 11th 5-year plan exclusively for the SC/ST OBCs. It was never happened in the history of India. One 5-year plan completely has given to the entire the SC/ST OBCs. And the Sir Chaudhary Sahab was also arguing about what kind of job creation is happening for the last many years, was the question. SC/ST OBCs, why they are not getting jobs, was the one of the fight that he has taken up in the Rajasthan. In context of, let us look at the last the 2 terms of the BJP government, is that if we look at NCDHR reports on the budget allocations of the SC/STs, because there are 2 things that was actually taken away. One is Planning Commission of India is gone, Niti Aayog has came, and there are two things, that is the SC, the subplan SP, and also TSP, that tribal subplans. So from the beginning, there was a lot of the things were there for the people. But if you look at the 5-year the budget allocation, is the requirement is 9 lakhs, but the allocation was shown in the budget is 5 lakhs, but only spent is less than 3% for the SCs and less than 2% for the STs. And if you look at the recent reports of the NCDHR, the budget allocations are very meager and very unsatisfactory. And the words that the NCDHR and the Book Naik team, they both have defined these budgets as a betrayal of SC/ST OBCs future and livelihoods of entire thing. If you look at the entire reports of these NCDHR and all other things, the budget allocations are very meager and very unsatisfactory. And in fact, the demonetization to the disinvestment of the public sector industries is killing the employment of SC/ST OBC. There won't be any employment in the public sector. They are saying that now privatization, and where there is no reservation. And when the private bill has come, they have gone for the what is that the classification of the bill, the employment, the ABCD classification or creamily whatever. So you see the whole history, this entire they have the agenda of from the beginning of the time that Chaturvarna Vyavastha to the Chaturvarna Vyavastha to now, the classification is their motto, dividing people is their motto, and there is no kind of commitment where the opposition party has but I appeal from this platform that whatever that uh, the movement is taking up by our minister Saab, we are fully with you, sir, and all the best for you. And in the context of this, thank you so much for inviting me. I especially thank Sudhanshu and all other team of NSUA for thank you so much.